for this last section, we are going to be talking about how to convert in between the two systems that we've been talking about this chapter. So we originally started going over our system, the U.S. customary system. Then we went to the metric system. Then on last week, on that last section 3, we talked about time and temperature, because those are constant no matter where you are. So this last section is to go over how would you convert something from like the metric system to our system, or how would someone take something from our system and convert it to the metric system if they needed it that way. So again, we have a really big chart here. This is in your guys' packet, and this kind of just tells you, depending on what you're trying to convert between, what you should multiply by. So all of these are going to basically be multiplication problems. And so what you want to do is use the chart and see like what are the units that you're trying to go between. So for example, if I have something in feet, and let's say I want to go to meters, then I multiply by that number 0.3048, so the line that I've highlighted here. So some of the numbers, because we're going in between the systems, they're not great numbers that you're multiplying by. You're not just going to have like multiply by 3 or multiply by 12 or something. You're going to have kind of weird numbers because the metric and the US system are not directly comparable. So because our US system, like we've talked about, is a little bit different than most, and the metric system is all base 10, that's why there's not clean conversions between these two things. So you'll notice like all these numbers that you're multiplying by, there's not a single one here that isn't a weird decimal. So you will want to be careful that you're using the right number and that you're getting the full decimal to get like the best conversion. So kind of the short and sweet way to do this is figure out what you're trying to convert between, match it up to one of the areas up there in your chart, find the number that you need to multiply by, and then just perform the operation. So for example, if I want to change 50 feet to meters, if I come back up here, I had that one highlighted, feet to meters was that 0.3048. So I'm just going to take 50 times 0.3048. And when you do this, you'll probably get decimals as well, so you'll want to make sure that you're rounding your answers. If it doesn't say, if it's a short enough decimal, you can go ahead and just write the whole thing, like if it's 2 or 3 numbers. But if you get a really long decimal or one that doesn't seem to stop, then you can decide to cut it short if you want. So cut it to like the first spot after the decimal point, or even maybe out 2. This one I have written down 15.24. Does it come out that way cleanly? Okay. So I would just leave it right there. So 50 feet is about 15.24 meters. No. Nope. I will have a sheet that has all of these charts, like from this one and from previous sections. I'll have like one big kind of cheat sheet type thing that you guys will be given for the test, so you will not need to memorize all of these things. I would not expect that. Yeah, way too much to memorize. Okay. Next one, let's go. How many full cups are in a 2-liter soft drink bottle or pop bottle? Okay, so we have to do a couple conversions here because we're going liters to cups. And if I come back up here to my chart, I only have liters to quarts on here. I don't have liters to cups. So I'm going to take liters to quarts first, and then we'll do quarts and we'll try to get to cups. So we'll have to probably go back to a previous section and find those conversions if you don't remember them. So 2 liters, I'm going to kind of set up like a dimensional analysis here. So I'm going to put 2 liters over 1. So it says that we would multiply by 1.0567. Because that's how many quarts are going to be in 1 liter. So that takes care of the liter label. Now I'm in quarts. So let's go back. So quarts and that would be our system. Quarts and cups and pints. So let's look at this chart right here. So right now I have quarts. And in my chart I've got, let's see, I can do 1 quart is the same as 4 cups. So coming back over here, 1 quart is the same as 4 cups. So I put 4 cups over 1 quart, and that takes care of my quart label. So the last thing I need to do is just multiply. I need to take 2 times 1.0567 times 4. Can you guys do that and tell me what's the decimal that you get? Good, 8.45. Now this is asking how many full cups are in it, so what would we say for that? Good, just 8. There's 8 full cups in a 2-liter. There's a little bit over that, but it wouldn't make a full one. It would just be a portion of one. So there will be a little bit of that too, where you have to maybe do one conversion between the systems, and then you have to do some converting within that same system. So make sure, like I said, those charts are all in that packet, so just go back and find the appropriate one to use. The last thing we need to talk about in this section is called body mass index, or for short it's BMI. And so this is the standard unit for measuring a person's degree of obesity. So basically, you're looking at someone's weight, and you're trying to figure out what's their, looking at how much they weigh, how much of that is essentially fat content versus muscle content. Okay. So in order to do this, there's actually quite a few steps. It's not just a simple, you take this number times this number, okay? So there's a couple steps here. The first thing you need to do is take the weight in pounds and take it times 0.4536. That came from our chart previously, and that converts it to kilograms. Then we convert our height to inches. So most of the time when we measure our height, it's feet in inches, 5 feet, 3 inches or something like that for someone's height. And so you'll want to get that all to inches. So we'll have to convert the feet. Then we'll take inches and switch that to meters. Once we get that number, we'll end up squaring it. And then we take the weight in kilograms and we divide it by that number that we found from the height. And that, when you round it, will be your BMI. So Alexa May is 5 feet 6 inches and she weighs 138 pounds. Find her body mass index. All right, so I'm just going to go step by step here. Step 1, multiply your weight in pounds by 0.4536. So her weight is 138. So we're going to take that times 0.4536. And that gets me 62.5968. You could round it if you wanted to, but I'm just going to write out the exact decimal. That takes care of that first step. So I'm going to cross them off as we go. Step 2 is to convert my height, or this person's height, to inches. So she's 5 feet 6 inches. How would I get 5 feet to inches? Take it times 12. So take 5 times 12, and then add that to the 6 inches that we already know she has. So 66 inches. So that takes care of step 2 from up above. Step 3 is to multiply the inches by 0.0254 to get it into meters. So we take our 66 inches times 0.0254. That's going to be 1.6764, and that would be meters. And step 1, this is again in kilograms. I'm going to go ahead and just label that really quick. Step 4 is to square the number that we got in step 3. So we're going to take this 1.6764 and we're going to square it. So we're going to take it times itself. So if we do that, I'm going to round it to about 2.8 because it's a really long decimal for that one. That takes care of step 4. Final step then is to take our divide your weight in kilograms, so what we got in step 1. So we're going to take this number, and we're going to divide it by what we just found. Okay, so that's step 5. 62.5968 divided by 2.8. So I get like 22.3 if I round that. So to do the BMI, we round it to the nearest whole number. So would you guys go to 22 or would you go up to 23? Okay, keep it at 22. So that would be her BMI.